But look at Toronto. I showed you the illegal march through the streets last week. This was filmed by Kareem Assad, a citizen journalist who covers protests. Remember the smoke bomb?
Here we go. My question is it pro-Palestine or pro-Hamas?
Yeah, that's the kind of place where probably not in downtown Toronto, but in Mississauga, you're quite likely to see terrorist flags there. Anyways, police let these things go all the time. I mean, that's what's so astonishing. You go to these protests and all sorts of, it's like a little mini crime wave. Police do nothing. But what happened is the video of that smoke bomb went viral, and that caught police attention. So they reluctantly later charged the smoke bomb guy. He was immediately released back on the streets, of course. I doubt he'll even be prosecuted, but he was arrested because of the video and news stories that came from it. Those news stories temporarily embarrassed the police in the city, who are usually far beyond embarrassment. Anyways, Kareem is on the streets a lot, and she saw...
Oh man, far beyond embarrassment. It reminds me of a story when me and my wife, we went for dinner, I think, or lunch in Toronto. It was right after COVID, I believe. And we saw the cop standing embarrassed next to the car. And he locked his keys in the car. He had to have a key maker? Someone with the lockpick to open the car for him. That's ridiculous, man. How can a cop forget the keys in a car? He locked himself off. And it's, to be fair, it's kind of ridiculous because it was a Ford car, and I'm pretty sure, at least the newer Fords, you can turn on the feature that will prevent you from keeping the keys in the car, right? So yeah, that was... the cop was so embarrassed. It was ridiculous.
On this, take a look at this ambulance being blocked.
Yeah, like, what are we talking about? This is illegal as hell. And again, like, it's not a peaceful protest. First of all, they had a smoke bomb. Second of all, they're blocking the road. And obviously it was, like, my guess is that it wasn't approved because you can see the lights. Lights are still working. It's not like the lights are shut off. So once you're blocking people from getting from place A to B, you should be charged. It should be illegal. This is not a peaceful protest. It's blocking citizens. It's blocking the car. It's blocking the ambulance. What are we talking about? Even if there was just one person standing on the road blocking the ambulance, go to the jail. It's illegal. It's illegal as hell. What are we talking about? And the cops, you have cops over here. Do you think they will move all of these Protestants? No. And let's talk about it. Yes, it's Palestinian flag, but I heard something about pro-Hamas protest. So some people out of this group are supporting terrorist organization, which again should be illegal. Well, I'm pretty sure it is illegal, but no one's enforcing it to be illegal. So you're looking at this picture and you see just illegal things against the law, all of that. Like, what are we talking about? Seriously? Are they really gonna turn around? Now look, someone could have died because of this. Whoever's in the ambulance, if it's serious, like, you're not in the ambulance for no reason, right? Not with the cold or flu. So if they have someone there, or if they're going towards someone, the minutes count. These people might be responsible for someone dying, and that's why we have laws that you're not supposed to block the ambulance. It's ridiculous. I feel like every one of them should be charged First of all, supporting terrorism. Second of all, blocking the ambulance from getting from point A to B. Like it's, yeah.
An ambulance blocked on the streets by the illegal Hamas protesters. Illegal that they don't have a permit. They're blocking the streets. Even the trucker convoy kept a lane open for emergency vehicles. Remember that? Yeah, no arrests or ride.
Yeah, remember the tracker convoy in Ottawa when they protested against COVID and vaccine mandates, and they all got charged. Their accounts got frozen, and you didn't see any smoke bombs or anything. It was peaceful protest, and you heard Ezra. They left the line open just in case, and yet all of them charged, all of them frozen funds. I wonder if something like that is gonna happen to the people who support terrorism.
Horses or seized or frozen bank accounts for the Hamas type. That's just for
Here we go.
loyal Canadians. Anyways, imagine an ambulance that can't get through because of an illegal protest in support of an illegal terrorist group, and they're illegally blocking the streets. And police just stand there as usual. The Toronto Sun, though, did a big story about it. Our friend Joe Warmington wanted to show you what it actually looked like on the page. Protests above all. Ambulance carrying kid gives way to pro-Hamas crowd. Just such a gross event.
Wait, so the ambulance was carrying kid? Explain that to the parents. Explain the parents that their kid didn't get on-time medical help because of the pro-Hamas protest, illegal protest. Again, I was right about that.
And thank goodness Karima there was to record it and that Joe wrote about it. It was truly shocking, so the police felt finally compelled to put a statement about it. Let me be clear. They didn't put a statement about the ambulance. They put a statement out because of the news coverage. You've got to understand it. It was the news coverage that they didn't like. So an individual was taken. I want to read to you. I want you to compare what the police said happened to what actually happened. Here's the police statement. An individual was taken to the hospital by ambulance. Paramedics took an alternate route to avoid demonstrators. The individual's life was not at risk and the delay was minimal. If urgent access is ever needed, officers will clear a path. Public safety is always our top priority.
What are you talking about? It's illegal. You're not supposed to block the ambulance or paramedics. You did not do your job. Seriously, you're gonna be like, yeah, we didn't have to do our job because it wasn't serious? It's like, I lived in GTA. I lived in Milton. On the lights over there. This is nothing too serious, but it pretty much explains what's going on over there. There was a cop car, first in the line on the lights, right? Clear signs, U-turns are illegal. And there was someone else making U-turn in front of the cop. Do you think the cop went and fined the person? No, they looked the other way. Like, ridiculous. And this is pretty much the same thing. Like, well, nothing happened, so you have nothing to complain about. No, something happened. The ambulance was blocked. It was illegal. The protest was illegal. The protest was supporting terrorism. What are we talking about? There are so many things. It's just...
Guys, you've got to stop lying. I mean, maybe you can get away with it, but in the age of video cameras, I don't know if you're going to get away with it as much as you used to. It wasn't a little detour. It wasn't a minimal detour. The ambulance was waiting for nearly 4 full minutes. Here, I'm going to show you how long 4 minutes is. I'm going to be playing the clip of the ambulance in the background. And imagine you're in the back of that ambulance with a little boy. And normally seconds matter. That's why they have lights and sirens. That's why they go through red lights and everyone moves over. And you've got these Hamas protesters and they don't give a damn. In fact, they'd probably be thrilled if they killed that kid through their protest. I think this video was actually filmed by someone else.
I mean, just look how many cars passed before the ambulance was able to get into this spot. What are we talking about? One car passes, the cop should have been there and blocked the road. I'm not saying you should find them. Obviously, you don't have capacity to find every single driver who's not gonna let ambulance go, but you still have a power to just go stand on the road so ambulance have a clear way through this intersection, no? Like, Ken, what are we talking about?
Who was there at the same time as Karima. You'll note the police never actually inquire with the ambulance, never actually ask the Hamas side to move. They're lying when they say it was minimal. A kid could have died. This sort of thing happens every week, sometimes every day. This is what Canada has become. No rule of law, two-tiered policing, two-tiered prosecutions, two-tiered justice. I can't believe that some of the Coots protesters are still behind bars in Canada, but this, no problem.
But you know who did that, right? You know who's in power for now 10 years. Like, it's ridiculous. And people voted them in again. Like, this is all allowed by our government, unfortunately.
Of course, it goes right to the top. I mean, Mark Carney's only been prime minister for a few weeks, and Anita Anand has only been foreign minister for a few days. But Hamas has already issued a public statement, I think it's their second or a third now, praising Canada's Liberals for being so sympathetic to them. How would you feel if you had rapists?
What? Oh my God. That's ridiculous.
And murderers praising you? Well, you feel pretty good if you counted on the votes of people who support rape and murder, which is what Hamas does. Listen to Anita Anand give a little statement last week about Israel. I at first thought she just obviously knows nothing about the file, hasn't been briefed yet, and just blurted out the first thing that came to mind. I no longer think that. I think she is actually full Hamas. Take a listen and you.
Okay, before we get to this, I believe there's a need for me to state this. I'm not pro-Israel, not pro-Palestine, but I'm definitely not pro-Hamas, which is a recognized terrorist organization. Like, what are we talking about? I'm not saying that Israel is doing good things, okay? So just to make it clear, I'm not pro-Israel, not pro-Hamas, not pro-Palestine. But what's going on is just ridiculous.
Tell me.
Israel's blocking food and aid to Gaza. What do you think of that decision? And is the Canadian government doing anything to stop that?
We cannot allow the continued use of food as a political tool. The Prime Minister has been very clear about that. Over 50,000 people have died as a result of the aggression caused against the Palestinian and the Gazan people in Palestine, and using food as a political tool is simply unacceptable, and we need to continue to work towards a ceasefire. We need to ensure that we have a two-state solution, and Canada will continue to maintain that position.
So, of course, some of the blame goes right to the top, but the Toronto police, they actually report to the city, and they have a chain of command themselves, but they're corroded from within. Here are a couple of Toronto police cops on a Toronto police podcast. It's all official. And they're talking about how the Hamas attack on October 7th, 2023 against Israel had bonus side effects. It caused more people to look into Islam and therefore to possibly convert. Remember that?
It's funny you say this because, through social media, a lot of people after October 7th started learning about Islam.
They did, yeah.
And they said, okay, what is it with the religion that why is it so hated? Yeah. You know what I mean? Why are they being attacked all the time? So people say, you know what, let me learn about Islam. And there have been a lot of reverts through this whole process. I couldn't imagine, I guess when you're on social media, most of the feeds come through you. Once you see one, it just keeps coming. But the amount of people that are reverting to Islam is unbelievable, and they're just I guess through education, right? They're actually educating themselves and saying, what is it that Muslims are being targeted, and why are they being targeted? Let me learn about this religion. What are these accusations that they're saying about Islam, and let me learn about it myself and figure out, hey, is it actually true or not?
Yeah. So
Well, this is just ridiculous. So he's pretty much praising the terrorist attack because it helped spread religion. And I'm sorry, like if you're a cop, your main priority should be the laws of the country where you're a cop, not a religion. And it doesn't matter if you're a Muslim, Christian, Catholic, Buddhist, something like that. No, like your main priority is to enforce the law of the country. And here you're praising terrorist attack because it helped some religion. What? That's so bad, man. And it's official podcast.
that's Canada. That's your Toronto police. Are you surprised that they put Hamas protests ahead of getting an 8-year-old boy to the hospital? I see the UK starting to fight back a little bit. I can feel it out there.
Like this is going to be a big issue. Obviously, it's not only in Canada, but eventually there's going to be some political party that's going to be very extremist. And you saw it in Germany, right? What was it? Starting on some political party that right now was deemed extremist, and they're trying to ban it from Germany because it's kind of going close to, what happened during Second World War. And we need to make sure it's never going to repeat. But all of these governments are doing is that they're pushing people towards that way. Like there's going to be someone who's going to be crazy and people will elect him because there's going to be someone who's going to try to keep the culture of the country wherever, like in the UK, Canada, Germany, right? Because you want to keep your identity as a state. You don't want the immigration to completely change it. And I agree with it. Like if you have I agree with this point. Like if you have immigrants coming into your country, they should assimilate to the culture of that country. It shouldn't be other way around. Like you're visitors, not us. You are the visitors. We're going to make you feel welcome, but you're not going to change how it works in the country. Like that's just wrong. And unfortunately, governments like Canadian governments, UK government, they let the immigrants change the culture of the country, change how it works. And like I'm telling you, there's going to be someone who's going to snap. And the people will follow him. And all of the common sense will go out of the window because all people will hear is like, look, the situation's bad, I'm going to solve it. And that's not a way. We want to prevent it. We want to prevent what happened during the Second World War, right? We don't want to go that way again. But for that, the government needs to do their job. Like, look, that was illegal protest. There was so much illegal stuff on that one picture. And what did government do? Did they follow the Canadian law? I mean, not government. What did the police do? Did they follow the Canadian law? No, they let it happen. They didn't charge anyone with supporting terrorism, blocking the ambulance, or participating in not a peaceful and also illegal protest. They didn't do anything about it. So what's going to happen? There's going to be eventually someone who's going to fight against it and who's going to take it into extreme. And we need to prevent that. We need to hold the government and police accountable for the stuff like this. I think US is doing a good job about it. You have so many immigrants in the US, and yet they're still able to keep the culture of the US. I was always surprised about it when I traveled to US in comparison to Canada. Like the immigrants over there always, or most of the time, try to assimilate to the US culture. So they try to become Americans. Not other way around. They didn't come to the country being like, hey, I'm this and this. I want you to become this and this as well. No, They understand their visitors over there. And now with President Trump, if they're gonna participate in the pro-terrorist protest, their visa is gonna get revoked. And it's how it should be. You don't need the people who support terrorism in your country. What are we talking about?
See it a little bit in the polls. I can see Ireland starting to fight back a fair bit too. Hey, when's that fight back gonna finally come to Canada? Stay with us for more.
I'm afraid it won't. I'm afraid the fight back won't come to Canada. Like, where the culture's almost lost. The Canadian culture's almost lost. Like, I didn't visit many provinces. I visited Ontario. The culture over there, gone. Alberta. The culture's still here, but it's slowly disappearing. And I'm sorry, it's thanks to the Liberal government, because they put more power in the hands of the immigrants. And I'm immigrant, so you can say I can say it, right? But more power in the hands of the immigrants than the actual citizens of Canada, born and raised Canadians. Like, we should protect Canadian culture, and we as immigrants should try to assimilate to it. Like, look, I'm from Europe. I came to Canada for better life, right? I came here because my country, you can say, is not able to provide me the life I would want to. Am I coming here trying to change it into my own country, into my home country? No. I'm trying to assimilate to Canadian culture, Canadian values, and all of this. And that's how I believe all the immigrants should be. Like, if you don't like the country, if you don't like the culture, don't immigrate here. You can stay home. If it's so good at home, just stay there. Like, I would stay home if it was good over there. But for me, I believe Canada's better, and that's why I want to be part of Canada. I don't want to make Canada part of my home. I want to become part of Canada, assimilate, right? And I believe that's the right way, and I believe that we need the government to try to protect the Canadian culture a little bit better than what they're doing right now.
Oh, hi, it's Ezra Levant here in Toronto with an important message because we need your help. Independent journalism in Canada is under attack. Government censors, big tech deplatformers, and the dying legacy media are all working together to maintain exclusive control on the information you receive. They don't want you to hear other voices like ours, and they really don't want you to be informed and to think for yourself. That's why the work we do here at Rebel News is so important. Our on-the-ground reporting, independent news shows, and special content you won't find anywhere else. It's all designed to give you trustworthy information and alternative viewpoints so you can decide for yourself. We don't get government money, and we are not owned by some big global conglomerate. We're funded by people just like you, so please support independent journalism and help us continue our work by subscribing and becoming a Rebel News Plus member today, right here on the page. Go to rebelnewsplus.com.
No, definitely is right. We need to support independent media, because what we're getting from legacy media is just bias, and it's crazy. Not gonna lie about it. So yeah, if you like the video, or if you like the reaction, subscribe and like, please, and give a like to Rebel News. They have some really good videos.